up in the mountains, my friends, where you can still watch an eagle soar on the wind. And I walk those hills with a smile on my face, and I can't get back to God's saving grace in the mountains.
Welcome back to our Hill to Die On podcast. I am your host, Chase Dallin, and this is what's going on in Forest Hill for the week of, June 24th through June 30th, the pre-week to the 4th of July week. This is, pre-4th of July week, so, it's still basically, our founders were still drafting, Declaration of Independence this week, coming up with shit. So, you know what? It's damn 4th of July, Independence Month. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Declaration of Independence. July 4th, 1776. 250 years, baby, of American greatness. So, anyways, again, this week we're going to just kind of breeze over some of the hot topics. I am going to be posting this sucker right here, the calendar, all right there. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to move over just a little bit. Make room for that calendar. Better make room for it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. All right, couple quick things here. We got Brood and Bookish going on at Brewmasters and the LSM Food Distribution on Wednesday. Then there's Hot Rod Night at Brewmasters on Thursday. Plus, that's the karaoke night for the Mountain Club and a bunch of other stuff. And then getting into Saturday, big weekend. It's the Western States Run. Town is going to be packed on Saturday. Going to be people in little shorty shorts, and runners, and a bunch of people that are in shape. I have not been running. I've been a little bit of running. Not a lot of running. I'm not Tina. For God's sakes, Tina, lay off of it. But I'm just saying, there's going to be some running going on. So better look out for that. And, That's going to carry into Sunday. And so it's a busy week. Busy darn week up here in Forest Hill. Got some good events going on all week. Next weekend's going to be the parade. 4th of July on Saturday. Let's go, baby. But without further ado, we're going to get into this week's Banana Belt Weather Report. Thanks, Hannah. All right, folks. Hannah sends us another good one here. She says, we're kicking off the week today and tomorrow with weather you would expect to feel for the first official week of summer, because it is. Think about abundant sunshine, hot afternoons in the mid-80s, and warm evenings in the 60s. The air should feel dry, the skies will be mostly clear, and your typical summer plans get the green light. River trips and ice-cold beer at Brewmasters both look fantastic, and isn't she so correct? Plus, people, look at this. Most people with the jobs that they have today are very deficient in vitamin D. And the best source of vitamin D is this beautiful sunshine we have right here. The beautiful California sun, baby. Let's go. And all that stuff they say about, wear your sunscreen and this, that, and the other thing. Main thing is just cover up. You don't have to wear sunscreen necessarily. That they say the studies on that doesn't show neither here nor there. But you also don't want to get sunburnt. So take a long sleeve if you have to. Long sleeve, thin. Or you just have more melanin in your skin, like, people like me, can tan pretty easy. That actually work out in the sun. Then you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, Mother Nature has a sweet little surprise for us over the weekend. This is a 10 out of 10 summer weather. Friday cools noticeably, and Saturday is just downright refreshing with a high of only 71. Saturday is your best day to touch some grass. We are going to see some partly cloudy weather on the hill on both Friday and Saturday, too. If you're heading up into the high country to camp, expect a chance of rain all weekend. Oh, fantastic. French Meadows has an overnight low of 36 on Saturday, so be sure you bundle up. The rain likely won't touch us here in Forest Hill, but the higher elevations But in the higher elevations, the grass you're feeling may be very wet and cold. So runners, be aware. That is going to be, they're going to start out probably wet and cold and be hot and dry by the time they hit Forest Hill, I tell you. Then on Sunday, full sunshine returns and the temperatures will hit 76. The cooler air should make afternoons much more comfortable than we've seen recently. Take advantage of this weekend, folks. Sit on your porch with some coffee, visit Sugar Pine for a quiet paddle, or relax with a good book in the yard. Or relax in the garden. Look at these beautiful tomatoes. They're kicking ass. By Monday, real summer weather gently returns. Temperatures climb back into the 80s with lots of sunshine and dry conditions. Tuesday looks about the same. And the weather will feel sunny and warm, but not offensively hot. Nobody likes offensively hot. Nobody. And she says with the allergies, unfortunately, allergy season is still doing allergy season things. Grass pollen is moderate to high and likely the biggest culprit this week. Morning hours, roughly 5 to 10 a.m., tend to be the worst for grass pollen exposure. However, on Saturday and Sunday, the cooler conditions may provide a bit of relief for you allergy sufferers. So, get out this weekend, folks. Take in this beautiful California sunshine. Get in the garden. Get in the garden. Do some garden. Look at the garden. Look at that. Look at this garden. I got them beautiful peppers. See them peppers right there? See them tomato plants? I guess I heard a thing, because I'm not the best gardener in the world, right? I'm just trying to do some independence here. Trying to be self-dependent. And anyway, but I heard that peppers like to be kissing cousins, believe it or not. And tomatoes like to be friendly. So plant them a little fuller in your bed. Some people say no, some people say yes. Well, we're going to try the yes route. And, plus it's Forest Hill. Who doesn't like a kissing cousin every now and then? Just saying. Anyways, that is your Banana Belt weather report. All right, folks, getting right back into it. I want to do another quick shout out. I got some birthdays this week. On Wednesday, it's Ashley Shepard's birthday. Used to be Zellner. Come on, let's go. If you need your hair cut, she does a good old trimming job here. You see that there? Yeah, that's what she does. Happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Other birthdays, we have Trinity Kranzler and Peggy Sue McCrae on Thursday. On Friday, we have Shauna Cummings and Jimmy Wyatt. On Saturday, it's Emma Leanne and Conrad Ludvigsen. Oh, Conrad Ludvigsen. Hey, happy birthday. And then Sunday is Terry Helling and the Veronica Allen. So let's go. So happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too, baby. Getting right into this week's outdoor report. So, of course, Hannah always sends us, some really good stuff. Like I said, I'm going to be a little bit lost when it comes to when she has to go back to work because she sends us good information here. This week, she says, we have our next full moon coming up on Monday. This is the strawberry moon. Despite the name, it doesn't usually look pink or red. The name comes from the Algonquin tribe who used it to mark the season when wild strawberries were ready to harvest. Wild strawberries were ready. Wild strawberries were ready to harvest. Okay? Just saying. Wild. They're not wild. But they're strawberries, and there's some in there. Oh, look. Oh, there might be one there. Anyway, just saying, folks. Wild strawberries were ready to harvest, so that's why they call it the harvest moon. Strawberry moon, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyway, and if anybody knows a thing or two about strawberries being ready to harvest, it's the Middletons. I trust Hannah, no, they got a full, that's why we got the strawberries going. This month's full moon will ride particularly low across the sky, which will make it appear larger and more golden when it first rises above the horizon. So it's going to be beautiful. And when she says they know a thing too about the strawberry, they have a ton of strawberries. Of course, have I seen one strawberry? No, I have not seen a single strawberry. I'm a little upset about it because they're probably just giving them to their damn chickens. Anyways, this week we are doing a check-in with our local rivers and reservoirs, and we are starting with the American River. The North Fork is largely dependent on snowmelt and natural runoff and typically drops significantly by late June. Current conditions suggest lower summer flows are setting in. As for swimming, water remains cold enough for cold water shock if you jump in on a hot day. Now, the current is generally manageable in swimming holes, but much stronger in constricted canyon sections. So you still got to watch out for strong currents. The middle fork of the American River continues to receive managed releases and generally maintains a steady flow through the summer. Some really prime swimming holes exist here, but the current remains stronger than it appears. Water temps are refreshing, to say the least. Honestly, I would say it's not ideal for young children to be at either the North Fork or the Middle Fork without close adult supervision. Always keep your child in a life vest, not water wings. Yeah, water wings are a bit dangerous. I tried to put them on my feet when I was a kid. I know Glenn Brown's got one of those stories. He tried to put them on his ankles so he could walk across water. Ask him about it. He'll tell you. Anyways, the Middle Fork is one of California's premier whitewater runs, with commercial rafting continuing through the summer. Give the guides a wave and maybe chuck them a beer if you see some pass by. For both the North Fork and the Middle Fork, the fishing should be good. Cold water continues to support trout activity. Early and late day fishing should be productive as insect activity increases. Of course, who wouldn't know anything about that would be fly fishermen, because they don't catch any fish. If you just go down there with a Rapala, you'll catch plenty on a spinning rod. Trust me. Ask Costly. He doesn't catch enough fish at all. That's why Andy always has all the fishing pictures. Just saying. You know why Andy has all the fishing pictures? Because he doesn't use a fly fishing rod. Just saying. Anyway, French Meadows Reservoir is beautiful as always during the summer, which it is beautiful. The water level is looking good for late June. Reservoir storage remains adequate. Both boat launches are open right now, and the swimming is decent. I would expect cold water near the dam and warmer water in the shallow coves. The bottom can be either really rocky or muddy, depending on where in the lake you're swimming. So bring some water shoes. According to PCWA, experienced anglers consider French Meadows among the top trout lakes in the Sierras, which it is. The Department of Fish and Game stocks French Meadows with rainbows and browns usually. The rainbows average 12 to 22 inches, while the browns range beyond in up to 6 pounds. The tree stumps left behind from the development of the reservoir also offer the trout plenty of cover and shade. The fish are biting up there right now, so get it while the getting's good. And I'm surprised Andy hasn't sent me any pictures of him catching fish at French Meadows, because I'm sure he has been, because he always is. Sugar Pine's water level remains in solid shape heading into July. This is probably your best family-friendly swimming option right now. Although, I have to say, I heard this last weekend that place was packed. So, I mean, it's a good place to get to. I grew up at Sugar Pine. Everybody knows about Sugar Pine. It's only 13 miles from right here in town. But it's become, while Clementine, has gotten really packed on the weekends, well, people have found out about Sugar Pine, and it's becoming a bit of a nightmare on the weekends. And I guess there was pontoon boats up there this last weekend, just boats all around the darn thing, which is fantastic. We're bringing people up to the hills and all that stuff, but now our local swimming hole is becoming a bit overran, and we're going to have to just push further into the hills like we've always done as hill folk. French Meadows, Oxbow, things like that. Anyway, this will be the swimming with the warmest water and has easy shoreline access. The boat launch is open, and honestly, it's hard to find a better lake to paddle on. Whether it's by kayak, paddleboard, or canoe, you're going to really enjoy it because the speed limit is only 10 miles an hour. Very true. However, if you really want to get some good paddleboarding in, you got to do it during the week when the traffic isn't such, at 10 miles an hour, yeah, true. You're not going to cause much wake. But still, when the lake's congested with a bunch of people, there's still going to be some wake. Just saying. As the water warms over the summer, bass fishing improves, but the trout move deeper and become more challenging to catch. You can get yourself a 2-for-1 here and fish while you paddle. Fish while you paddle. Whistle while you work. Anyway, just saying, she's not wrong on that. Although everybody has always called that fish No Fish Lake for good reason. Not a lot of fish in that lake. Bass. You can catch bass. Who wants to catch bass? People want to catch trout. You want to eat trout. Come on, let's go. Anyway, lastly, we're taking a look at Clementine, mainly to give you all a warning. For trailered or motorized vessels launching at Lake Clementine, your boat must be inspected for golden mussels before launching. You must either complete a 30-day quarantine or have the boat professionally decontaminated. The boat receives a tamper evidence seal that is checked before launch, and the seal is removed at launch and a new one is applied when you leave the lake. This program has been in effect since last summer and remains in place now. Generally, hand-launched non-motorized crafts such as kayaks, paddleboards, and canoes are still allowed. So, ladies and gentlemen, just pay attention on our local waterways. And I'm telling you, all you locals out there that watch this podcast, French Meadows is the place to go. It's the best one. It's the one because people from Sacramento they're already driving up here. They don't want to drive another 40 miles to French Meadows on that windy Mosquito Ridge Road that I drive every day. But still, they don't want to have to do that. So if you really want to enjoy yourself, go to French Meadows. Gets a little windy, yes, but it's still secluded. And that's this week's Outdoor Report. All right, everybody. Did everybody get a chance to notice that the Forest Service and the Colfax, Todd Valley, Maidu Miwok tribe went out and cleaned up a ton of trash on the Forest Service lands? They were out there at Chicken Hawk cleaning up all the shotgun shells that everybody's always freaking shooting out there and leaving. Hey, if you're going to go out and shoot in the woods, which it's public land, I get it. If you're going to go out and do that, especially shotgun, if brass, you better be picking up your brass. But shotgun, those are the ones that people usually leave behind because, it's plastic. I don't need to pick it up. Bullshit. Pick up your damn trash. And if you're going to go out and shoot clay pigeons or something like that, hey, buy the biodegradable ones. That's fine. We get it. But take a tarp. You take a tarp, you set out the tarp, and you shoot off the tarp. Then when you're all done, you fold up the tarp, all the shells roll into it. You don't have to freaking let them fly all around. Or you take a rake and a bucket. Take a rake and a bucket. You spend 2 minutes after you're done shooting. Nobody's shooting that much typically because everybody's a bunch of big sissies. They're not going to shoot more than 100 rounds of shotgun. There's people that do, but come on. At most everybody starts whining after the 20th shell they've shot of a shotgun. Then, oh, my shoulder's bruised. Big babies, baby back bitches. Jesus. Anyway, just saying, clean up after yourself because the Todd Valley Miwok and the Forest Service, Noah, thank you. You guys get out there, kick butt, and we appreciate you for it. Thank you very much. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring us into this week's Thoughts for the Shitter. All right, folks. Big time this week. Have you ever noticed that government, our elected representatives, hardly ever pass laws for themselves? Hardly ever pass laws for themselves. All the common citizenry, you, me, and the baby makes three, we all get all the brunt of people in Washington or the state capitol, or hell, even the county board. right? All of our supervisors. They never pass laws limiting themselves. They only want to pass judgment onto us. So what does that turn out to do? Well, and then when the government was first started, really, government was created to, help interstate commerce and protect ourselves with military and things of that nature. And then the Constitution and everything was written to tell us, basically limiting the government of what they could do to us. But nobody ever follows that anymore. All they do is sit there and make, I get it. Some laws, speed limits are nice because without them, some people would be driving like crazy assholes. Understandable. Having a law where you shouldn't. Oh, there's a few of them. There's a couple laws that I can get along with. Couple. But the main thing that I'd like to see is laws limiting, let's say, insider trading. How about the amount of taxes that a government can raise on its personage or on its people? The amount of regulations they can enforce on their people. And none of these things, they just pass them willy-nilly. But they never pass laws to limit themselves. And I think that's something that we need to start looking into. We need to start voting for politicians, or maybe, just maybe get rid of the whole political class altogether. Maybe start just looking local and start being, worrying about what locals we can do. Start growing our own gardens so we could help out our own community. Start growing our own beef so we could help out our own community. Start making all of our own laws and regulations that actually pertain to us, because the darn elected representatives aren't doing it. And that's just something to ponder while you're dropping them off down yonder. Right into this week's Sasquatch. All right, I know you folks have been wanting, some funny Sasquatch stories and stuff like that of local Sasquatch stories, but nobody's sending me any good nominations. So until that time occurs, I am just going to keep reading off of local, Sasquatch lore and stories in California. So in this week's story pertains to a young girl that went missing on the outside of Yosemite National Forest in 1981. She was 14 years old. Her name was Stacy Ann Arras, or Arras. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But they went for a hike, or they went to a horseback for a horseback ride. This is 1981, July 17th, 1981. She's 14 years old. They went for a horseback ride up to the Sunrise High Sierra Camp. Okay, they get up there, all that stuff, and this little gal Stacy, she wanted to go take some pictures around the area at the lake and stuff like that. Okay, so they say, go ahead, no, they're out in the freaking Yosemite. And so they go off, and then I think or some adults anyways followed up after her, and they couldn't find her, nowhere. All they found was a camera lens. That's the lens to her camera, that's it. They had dogs out there, they had everything out there. Now, it's, obviously been over 40 years since that happened, 45 years, really. And they still have never found any bones, any remains, no camera, no nothing, no article of clothing, nothing. And it has been attributed, and the Yosemite area, there's another one that we're going to be doing here probably next week, or maybe the week after. Next week, I might have something special for you. But anyway, so they've attributed it to, maybe some of the adults that were on the trip, but everybody said, no, it wasn't them. I don't think they've charged anybody with anything on that. But a lot of people have started to say, maybe it was a Sasquatch that could have done that. I mean, it could have been a mountain lion. But see, here's the thing. Mountain lions, you'll get a trail of blood, and a mountain lion's not going to pack off I mean, they'll pack off stuff, a distance, but they're not going to pack it way far away. They're going to kill it where it is, and then they're going to, try to cover it up and come back and get it. And the fact that nothing has ever been found of poor Stacy Harris just makes you wonder how many Bigfoot are probably down around Yosemite, because this isn't the only story of a young girl's disappearance in that area, okay? So I just want you to think about that. So, could it have been foul play? I mean, let's be honest, most likely. Could she have fallen off a cliff? That could have happened too. Could she have just gotten lost in the backcountry of Yosemite? Very likely. But could it also be likely that she was abducted by Bigfoot? Hey, we may never know, but let's be honest. The latter is the most intriguing. And that's this week's Sasquatch, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't know, now you know. Well, folks, hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. And I hope you get out to Brewmasters. I hope you get out to the Mountain Club. Get in town and go see some of the runners. What is it? Brewmasters is doing an athletic brewing takeover. So athletic brewing is coming in to Brewmasters on Saturday. So there's some stuff going on. I think, we might be doing some cool stuff on Saturday. Like I said, it's Independence Week coming up, So let's get excited for America. 250 years, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it to this point. Hopefully we can get our governments straightened out and do it for another 250 and outlive Rome. But the way it's going, it's going to be a little rough. It's doable, though. It's doable. Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, this week's Robert Francis Joke of the Week goes like this here. He said, how do you catch a polar bear? Well, first, you got to go up to the Arctic, see, because that's where polar bears live. Then, you go out onto the ice, because that's where polar bears hunt, and you cut a hole in the ice, because that's where seals live. Then, you line that hole with peas, okay? Right? Because peas look like seaweed. So when the polar bear comes up to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. And we'll be seeing you on the next one.
They're pulling me